Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is The Wawel Dragon and the Clever Shoemaker. Welcome back to Lantern Lane. Tonight we travel far away to a city called Kraków in the country of Poland. Pull the blanket up to your chin. The room is soft and dim. Long ago, before tall buildings or cars, there was a green hill beside a slow river. The river was the Vistula. The hill was called Wawel. On top of Wawel stood a wooden castle. Its beams smelled of pine and warm smoke. Inside lived a kind old king named King Krak. King Krak had a soft white beard. He wore a long wool cloak the color of berries. He loved his people very much. Down in the town were bakers, weavers, and shoemakers. Their houses had thatched roofs that rustled in the wind like quiet little waves. Every morning, the king opened his shutter. He listened for the sheep coming home from the meadow. Their bells went ding, ding, ding. But lately, the bells had gone quiet. The sheep were afraid to walk down the hill. Something very large lived just below the castle. Deep inside Wawel Hill, there was a cave. Its mouth was low and round. Cool air drifted out, smelling of stone and old leaves. In the cave lived a dragon. He had scales like silver coins. His tail was as long as 3 farm wagons. His eyes were the soft yellow of candle flame. When he breathed out, his breath was warm like the open door of a bread oven. It rolled up the hill in a slow, drowsy puff. The dragon did not know he was scary. He thought he was tidy and quiet. He liked to nap on a heap of smooth river stones. But the sheep did not know that. They saw the warm puff and ran home. Their wool got tangled in twigs and bramble. Mothers in the town began to worry. Shepherd boys could not find their flocks. Even the cows mooed nervously by the barn doors. A small shepherd ran all the way up to the castle. He banged on the great oak door. Bang, bang, bang. King Krak, please, the sheep won't graze. King Krak rubbed his beard. He looked out the window at the river. The willows bent low as if they were listening. Then we must find a kind way, he said softly. A way that helps the sheep and the dragon too. The king sent word across the land. He promised gold and a fine red cloak to anyone who could solve the dragon problem. Soon, knights came riding in. Their armor clinked. Their horses' hooves rang on the cobblestones, clip-clop, clip-clop, clip-clop. The first knight was tall and proud. He had a feather in his helmet, dyed bright blue. He marched up to the cave. "Out, dragon, out!" he shouted. The warm breath rolled gently from the cave. His feather drooped. His helmet grew sticky. He turned and rode home. The second knight rode a chestnut horse. He carried a shiny silver shield. But the shield grew warm in his hand like a stove. He, too, turned around. The third knight was a quiet woman in green. She was clever and patient. She tried to peek into the cave. But the puffs of air smelled so spicy that she sneezed 3 times and went home for tea. One by one, all the brave knights came back tired. The dragon was still in his cave. The sheep were still hiding on the hill. King Krak sat on his wooden throne. His shoulders drooped like wet sails. "Is there no one," he sighed, "who can think of a softer way?" At the back of the great hall stood a small man. He had flower-colored hair and thread tucked behind one ear. His name was Skuba. Skuba was a shoemaker. He made tiny boots for babies and big boots for farmers. His fingers were quick and clever like little brown birds. He did not own armor. He did not own a sword. He owned needles, beeswax, and a steady, kind mind. He stepped forward and bowed. "Your Majesty," he said, "may I try?" The hall went hush. The candles flickered. King Krak tilted his head. "Of course, dear Skuba, tell me your plan." Skuba smiled gently. "Dragons love to eat sheep, yes? Then I shall give him a sheep, but not a real one." He went home to his small workshop. It smelled of leather and beeswax and warm tea. The window glowed pink with sunset. Tiny boots stood in tidy rows along the wall. A pot of beeswax bubbled gently on the small stove. He took a soft sheepskin from the shelf. He stitched it carefully into the shape of a plump, sleeping sheep. Pull, tug. Then he filled it with a bright yellow powder called sulfur. Sulfur smells a little spicy, like a freshly struck match. By itself, it just sits quietly. But inside a warm tummy, it gets very, very hot. When the moon was rising, Skuba carried his pretend sheep up the hill. He set it gently outside the cave. He patted its woolly back. "Sleep well, little trick," he whispered. The moon climbed higher. The stars came out 1, 2, then 1,000. The dragon yawned and stretched. He poked his silver nose out of the cave, And there, just outside, sat a fat, sleepy sheep, or so he thought. The dragon licked his lips. Late supper. He swallowed the sheepskin in one gentle gulp. Down it went. Plop. At first he felt warm, very warm, then a little warmer still. His belly began to glow softly like a paper lantern. Oh dear, he gasped. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He waddled down the hill faster and faster. The grass tickled his toes. He waddled all the way to the Vistula River where the water shone like a long silver ribbon. Slurp, slurp, slurp. He drank and drank and drank. He drank until his belly was as round as a barrel. He drank until little fish swam past in tidy lines, giggling at the bubbles. The willow trees bowed their long, green hair toward him. The lily pads opened wide. Even the water mice peeked from the reeds, surprised but unafraid. At last his eyes grew heavy. The river was very cooling. The reeds whispered like a lullaby. Slowly, gently, he lay down by the bank. Cool water lapped his silver scales. The frogs hopped onto his back like soft little pillows. And the dragon, full of river water and dreams, drifted into the deepest, gentlest sleep of his life. He never bothered the sheep again. Some grandmothers in Kraków say, if you stand by the river on a quiet night, you can still hear his breath. In and out, like the river itself is dreaming. The next morning, the sun rose pale and golden. The sheep came back down the hill. Their bells rang soft and steady like a quiet lullaby. The bakers opened their shutters. Warm bread smell drifted into the lanes. Children chased each other across the market square, laughing in the early gold light. King Krak found Skuba in his workshop. Skuba was already mending a tiny boot for a tiny foot. You did it, said the king, with thread and a kind idea. He gave Skuba a heavy purse of gold. He also gave him a small pair of golden scissors, just the right size for a shoemaker. The people cheered for King Krak. They cheered every market day, every harvest, every spring. They began to call their whole city Kraków after his name, and the name has stayed all the way to today. If you ever travel to Kraków, in the country of Poland, you can climb up Wawel Hill. The castle is made of pale stone now, not wood, but it is still there. Its towers shine in the sun. You can walk down into the very same cave. People call it Smocza Jama, that means dragon's den. The walls are cool and damp. They smell of old stone. And just outside, by the river willows, stands a small bronze dragon. He has friendly green-gray scales and a curly tail. Once an hour, he puffs out a soft, warm breath, just like someone yawning. Children wave. He puffs again. The Vistula keeps flowing, slow and silver, the same river it has always been. Tonight, the lanterns of Kraków are dim. The bakers have shut their ovens. The shoemakers have folded their aprons. Skuba's needles rest in a tidy little row. The sheep are tucked into their pens. The frogs are tucked into their reeds. King Krak, in his old story, is fast asleep on his pillow of dreams. And the dragon, of course, is still snoozing somewhere deep beneath the hill, dreaming of cool water and tidy little fish. And so, Kraków also slowly fell asleep. Good night.